think about how AI can accelerate what you do best so you can make a difference during this crazy, crazy time. Because your people need you. They need you to be able to show up. Your customers need you to make that difference and be that piece. So many amazing people in this room. I just love how every month this kind of feels like meeting people again that you haven't gotten to see in a while. It's so fun. All right, welcome everyone to the CincyAI for Humans Meetup for August. Give yourself a round of applause for being here. So before I introduce our amazing host, I just want to take a minute. Has anyone else thought this week was a little crazy? Like just what's going on in the world? Yeah? Anyone felt like, okay, the market, the world, wars and rumors of wars, what is happening to my business, right? So I just want to give you guys a word of encouragement. With everything going on and so many new things, also AI technology, everything's changing. I think this is really the time to think about what are your strengths? What are your company's strengths? What is your government's strengths? Whatever it is, think about that. And this is the time to focus. Focus on what your strengths are. Focus on what your values are, because your community, your family, your organization needs that strength during this time. And since this is an AI meetup, AI can actually help you accelerate and focus more on doing what you do best, on making that difference, on taking away so many of those repetitive tasks that keep you away from making that difference. So I want to challenge you as you're learning today, as we're getting educated, think about your strategy. Whether you are a builder, organization leader, whether you are a family member, whatever it is, think about how AI can accelerate what you do best so you can make a difference during this crazy, crazy time. Because your people need you. They need you to be able to show up. Your customers need you to make that difference and be that piece. So as you're learning today and as we go networking later, kind of think through, like, what is my strategy? What is my focus? How do I get educated? How do I implement? Happy to be a sounding board for that. Everyone in this room is happy to be a sounding board for that and how AI can help you think through that process. So keep that in mind. So with that, I want to introduce you to the amazing host of CincyAI for Humans, Kendra Ramirez, who is the CEO of KR Digital, who has been featured on the front page of LinkedIn and has really focused on making sure no person is left behind in this AI movement. And we also have Helen Todd, the host of the Creativity Squared podcast, the founder of Sociality Squared, who's really seeing how creative humans collaborate with AI and imagines a world where AI and humans collaborate together. So with that, I want to kick it off and say, Kendra, here you go.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love being with you guys. It's so good to see everyone. Thank you so much. And I can't believe we're already in August. How are we already here? First off, we want to make sure and thank all of our sponsors. This would not be possible without them. UC and being able to host this incredible facility. And Dr. Kelly Cohen is with us today. He is our partner in all of this and being able to host these and serve our communities well. And without them, we wouldn't be able to do this. And then we also have Seven Hills Technology, which also does software development and AI development. And then we also have Big Kitty Labs, and they do software development and AI development. And we love these organizations. I love the collaboration that also happens in this room. And this is also done just by volunteers. This is self-funded. So volunteers, stand up, if you're here. I know Sabrina. Yep. Yes, Greg. Yes. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we literally meet on Saturdays because of all of our schedules. That's the only time we can get together. And just recently, I was talking to a couple of people, and I was like, "Hey, we're $8,000 short on covering the year," and they're like, "Wait a minute, how much is this costing you?" And I was like, $27,000 to do this. So he's like, "You've never said on stage how much it costs. You should say how much it costs, because they don't understand. Food is not free. Volunteer, the videos and cameras and all the other things that go into this. So if it's in your heart, if you know a partner, Irv was like, hey, surely goodness Kroger or P&G or someone like that would want to be involved. If you have connections there, let us know. So that's just an ask of this awesome community because we want to be able to continue to offer this and continue to offer it from a free perspective. So we always love to kind of get a visual of who's here. And so where is my AI curious, right? You're getting started. Good, good. You're in the right room. You're in the right room. I love it. All right, AI users. AI users, yes, yes. That should be all hands, right? All hands. Are you using Netflix, Amazon, Google, pretty much everything at this point, right? That's all of us. And where are my AI builders? All right, AI builders, these are your best friends. These are your new best friends. AI builders, hold your hands up a little bit. Check around the room. These are the people you need to see and meet with and pick their brains. What I love about this is everyone is here to collaborate and help move each other forward. And so that's why I love our community so much. And what about, I know, Deba, you have not missed. How many people have been here? Let's see, was it, what we're going on? We're trying to figure out what, 11th? This is our 11th one. We're going to be coming up on a year in October, which is crazy. So how many people have been here 10 times? 10 times? 9 times? Yeah, I was like, Deba. I know Matt for sure. Yeah. First timers, if this is your first time, please grab one of the volunteers or Helen and I of how we can get you plugged in, right? We don't want you to feel, awkward coming into a new situation. Sometimes, some of us are a little bit more shy and meeting new people. We will get you plugged in. Let us know, the things that you're interested in, and we'll connect you with someone in this room. So we want to get you plugged in that way as well. And then impact and value. This is something that we're seeing over and over again. Helen and I just had a great meeting with Amy at UC about planning for next year, about dates for next year. And, one of the things that we're being tasked with is we need to write another letter and ask for, can we use this space again for free next year? So literally we had to write a 5-page letter last time to be able to do that. And so we're in the middle of that. So any stories you can share with us, any impact you can share with us that you are experiencing by attending these communities, we would love to put those kinds of things and testimonials in that letter that we have to write to UC to ask to use this space for 2025. So your value of being able to show what we're learning here really means the world to us. And we know it's happening. We know it's happening because you'll come up to us afterwards and say all the cool things that are happening. So we want to just capture all that goodness.
It's happening in real time.
And it's happening in real time, exactly. Learning something new, love it. Good. Business partner. I always want to know what the something else is. What's the something else? Anyone want to share what the something else is? Yeah, what is it?
So we trained 62 people, 45 companies on, it was an 8-hour intensive boot camp where you were one of the leaders.
And Helen, yep.
On all of these tools, I think there were 10 tools that people got exposed to try to understand how it's working their school.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dawn. Connect with Dawn because she's also building out a couple more of those intensives where it's all day hands-on. So connect with Dawn. Thank you for sharing. I love that. Great. All right, so we always want to know flow. What's the process? What are we doing here? Some of us, that are newer, some of us that have been here, we already forgot what happened last month, right? So the flow of how we are going to figure out the rest of our time together is we're going to do quick bite rounds. Quick bite rounds are less than 3 minutes, someone sharing a tip, a tool, or asking the community a question. We do have just a couple real quick little demos. That was something that we dabbled with and tested with last month, and that went really well. And so we're doing a couple of them again this month as well. So we'll do some demos. Then after that, we'll do Q&A and shout out. So any kind of questions that you have as we're moving through the information, or you just want to shout out someone in the room that's done something amazing, maybe a partner or something, feel free to do that. Jeffrey is a gentleman that started that. And I was like, I want to incorporate that every month because he was shouting out some incredible people. And then a group photo. This is always like herding cats. The minute we're saying, all right, we're ready for group photo, it's everyone to the wall, right? So we're over where Aaron is. We want everyone to the wall, and we want you to stand within where the wood is, right? Because if you're over there by the glass, we can't see you in the camera. So make sure we're going to have to stack, which is a great problem to have. Great problem to have. And then it'll take just a hot second to do that. And then you can do all the collaboration, all the networking, your little heart desires. And then again, make sure and grab, Helen and I or any of the volunteers to get plugged in on anything that you are here to learn, because there's so many incredible people in this room that can totally help you, whether it be a job or a project or a partnership, clients, whatever it is, let us know. And with that, I'm going to hand it back to Helen. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Helen. As Sabrina introduced, sometimes I bring my clone up, so there's no clone today to walk us through this. Maybe she'll come back next month. But one thing that we're really proud of at CincyAI for Humans is that we're just one node in the burgeoning AI ecosystem here in Cincinnati that is really robust and flourishing. A part of that is the UC Digital Futures. That's the building that we're in as part of a $100 million investment into the Innovation District here. You've got the 1819 building across the street. Then also there's a group of people, Carl isn't with us today, who leads up the Cincinnati AI Catalyst organization, and that is a consortium of different leaders to make sure that the 200 or 2.5 million residents in the 8 counties of Cincinnati don't get left behind with AI. On top of that, there's CincyAI Week, there's Midwest Con, all of the amazing events that are happening just right here in KU's boot camp in the region. And in the state, there's a lot happening too. CincyAI Week announced their Columbus event. Big Kitty Labs is based in Columbus, and I saw Morgan come down. They also have an AI meetup, which we're going to support at the end of the month. So there's so much happening in the region that we're really proud of. And really our mantra here at CincyAI is the rising tide lifts all ships, and we're here to connect, collaborate, and learn from one another. And responsible AI is, we're champions of. Dr. Kelly Cohen, as Kendra mentioned, is our organizing partner and has been leading the research for this in fuzzy logic for 20, 30 years. And, all the coasts always like to move fast and break things. Here we like to move them out responsibly. So if you have any questions about responsible AI, there's a wealth of knowledge and resources right here at the Digital Futures Building. And really, with CincyAI Week and all of the different events happening here and activities and businesses, we're starting to get recognized nationally for leading responsible AI, which is really great to see as well. Really quick before we go into the demos and stuff, I just wanted to point out our newsletter, which has tons of stuff packed into it that I get questions. And also for the Slido, I also wanted to mention for our Q&A portion at the end, you can use the same QR code and numbers to submit a question. We'll be doing the mic, go around with those, but if you don't want to raise your hand and ask a question, we have this as well. And then Big Kitty Labs is helping us with our website, which we're going to get on this month since they've got it drafted. But until then, the best place for all of your news is our newsletter. And in it, you have everything. Last meeting, for everyone who is here, David Whelan opened us up, and I know the Olympics is going on. He's actually in Norway right now, competing to be the first ever
para athlete to do the hardest triathlon in the world, and it's been just as much fun watching him and Snoop Dogg at the Olympics. So thank you for everyone who supported David. Our next meetup link is in here. One amazing thing, there's so many different events in the community, and we're starting to get coupon codes for our members, which I'll go over at the end. And better than speaker codes, for MACON, I'm a speaker there, and my discount code's $100 off. You all get $200 off with the code here, so that's great. Together Digital is running a BOGO membership. I don't know, is Pete here? One big thing that happened in the community is Pete, who announced his company back in March, actually just announced securing 1.2 million in funding. So we're very proud. I know some of the advisors for Pete is in here. Kendra mentioned that we have amazing sponsors, but we still have a gap between what our sponsors have and donations. So if you want to donate personally, you can do that through Eventbrite when you sign up for our meetups. And let's see, what else is in here? The directory, which that will be moving to the site. All the videos and photos from the event, these will come out, and this newsletter will come out Saturday, Sunday, this weekend, once we get everything. You're welcome to download the photos, share them, take as many, use the hashtag CincyAI. A lot of people hear about this on LinkedIn and other places, so we love the LinkedIn love. Upcoming events, if there's something that you're doing and the community news that will add value, feel free to share that. Email or LinkedIn message us, and we'll be sure to include it. A bunch of resources from our different speakers and sharing. We'll put Matt's, and actually we missed Greg's from last time. So there'll be 2 new resources with slides and more in here. So it's just packed ton of information. And here's actually a podcast that I did with Pete and John Accarino on John helps publishers and artists and media broadcasters to shut down their content from being scraped, whereas Pete helps brands optimize for the prompt engineering results that Matt went over this morning. So that's a very good one to listen to if that's of interest. And then, yep, all of the photos and videos and our upcoming dates. So let me go back to this really quick. And the upcoming events. Since Carl is not here, I definitely wanted to mention that the Cincinnati AI Catalyst is putting together an AI for Government symposium. It's a virtual workshop to make sure that all levels of government in the Cincinnati area, from townships to counties, know about the roadmap. They revealed the roadmap at CincyAI Week so that no government gets left behind. We've been outreaching, calling, emailing, but if you know any local government officials, please put this on their radar too. We'd love to have them be a part of it. I know I live in Springfield Township, and one of the gals that I talk with, one of her biggest worries is like, I just feel like I don't want small and local government to be left behind, and this is exactly what this is set for. Then there's a lot here, so I'm not going to read it all. Midwest Con is September 4th through 6th, and with your code CincyAI, that's 30% off. And Midwest Con is a community partner. MACON, that's in Cleveland. There's, I know, a small cohort. Kendra and I are going, and you can get $200 off. And then the circuit, you can also get $15 off their Best in Tech Awards. So a lot happening. September 17th through 19th is Columbus AI Week. And Morgan, sorry, I didn't put this in here. August 29th is the AI Columbus Meetup, which I'll be sure to put into the newsletter this weekend. So lots of different ways to get involved, and we're all supportive of the ecosystem here in Cincinnati. Okay, so we're going to go into our demos and quick bites, which is asking a question to the community, sharing an AI tip or tool, and or what you are building. So we're going to start off with demos again. I did see Praj here. If you want to come up and kick us off with your demo, and then we'll go through there.
All right, hi everyone. I'll be doing a demo of the company and the platform we have, which is QualsAI. So we play wherever there is qualitative data. Anytime you want to talk to people and get insights from those conversations. So market research, product research, and needs assessment, journey mapping, that kind of thing, right? So we have AI that assists you with designing the research. It'll like come up with your full surveys. It'll also do interview design, and then there's also a voice-based survey itself, and then AI-based interview. So it's a voice-based back and forth interview that's open-ended, and then we do like very deep analysis for all the data that comes in, right? So today I won't have time to go through all of these. So I'm going to talk about specifically one thing is which if you already have surveys or if you already do these surveys with open questions, right? So a lot of the time we wouldn't know, we don't really know how to parse like these text responses that come up from these surveys. So just as a show of hand, who here has done like surveys with some kind of open-ended questions? All right, so that's a good group, and usually, like what I've seen, I don't know what your process is. I'd love to talk to you about it, but usually, what I've seen is people read through the surveys or do like word clouds or something at the end, right? Is that kind of what you guys are looking at as well? Okay, so I'm going to show you the better way, right? Which is through the platform. So once you log in, right, you can go sign up yourself, and then there is like some surveys you can do per month, or you can contact me if you want more, right? So happy to set you up. And you can log in, and you can use your fingerprint if you have that, or just your password. And once you're in here, so the top column is where you have very in-depth like interviews, right? So it's not for everybody that you conduct like hour-long interviews, right? But if you just want to get your survey analyzed, you can go in and upload your data, and you choose any CSV format. For the enterprise tier, we also have uh, you can also just integrate like your Google Forms and stuff, right? So we're working on that for now. Like the CSV or Excel is the best format to go for, right? So you upload that, and what happens is after that uploads, it's going to go and spin for a little bit, and you get a notification that the upload is done and complete. And after that, let me show you the data that I'm actually processing, right? So this is a qualitative data. I just have one question, and there's 1,300 responses. So there's a whole lot of responses there, and usually, like, you wouldn't know what to do with a response like that, right? So there's a lot of rich data there. And there's another one which has some quantitative and then a bunch of like responses, right? So when you run it through the platform, it usually takes a couple of minutes. And after that, let me find the one, and it is named safety.dat. So you can name your Excel file better. But essentially, what you get out of this is like out of the box, right? You get like for each and every question, you get themes, and then there's a full thematic analysis along with quotes, and then you also get these like high-level themes, and then sub themes, right? So you can look through that, and you get all that for each and every question. And if you put in the objective while you run the analysis, you also get like some things you can do from the information, as well as some actions you can take, right? So that's not all. So you can also, so for the more advanced feature, you also have ability to dig deeper into all these themes, right? So I showed you the 5 themes, and you can see the sub themes. You also have quantification of the themes. So you see that the absence of harmful chemicals in this case was the most salient theme, right? So you can keep going deeper. You can also look at like codes which or like category codes which are one level deeper, right? So these are semantically meaningful but precise topics that came up. So you have all these topics here, and you also see the saliency there. And then you can look at like even the underlying codes on how like a very well trained qualitative researcher would look at it. And then you can see all these concepts that come up, right? And you can explore them. You see that they're all like into these nice segments of these are all like about safety. These are all about harmful chemicals, for example. And you can look at exactly who said what, right, for these things. And you can also go and look at each and every example, right? So you also get a visualization of that, and you can explore that way as well. So this is just a very rich way to explore your data. And on top of that, there's also a chat with your own data. So you can ask very interesting questions like how many of my participants have this concern and do a thematic analysis for that cohort versus people that have this concern, for example, right? So you can do a lot of exploration really, really fast. So I think that's all I'm going to talk about today. So there's like also other interesting things that the platform does in terms of like interview analysis, etc. So happy to talk more about that if anyone's interested. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Great job. And if you have questions, we'll do that in the Q&A section just to keep this part going. And Irv is our next demo who's going to show us how to do local LLM demo, which I'm super excited about because I know sometimes open source and local can be daunting. So he's going to demystify it for us.
So if you're like me, you know, the whole ChatGPT and AI has always been kind of really interesting in that if you've ever seen a dog run around outside, first time that they've ever been in rain and they're just, going crazy. Well, that's the way I was when I first did something with ChatGPT to solve a problem, right? So, you get some impossible problem and you do it and you solve it. And it's like, wait a minute, there's a whole life out there of things to be able to do. And so that was my first eureka moment when it came to generative AI. And the second one was, gee, I can take all of that knowledge and run it locally on a machine and do it for free. And that was another just a eureka moment. So that's why I wanted to share, just in case you haven't done it. It's really a 5-minute task, depending on your download speed. But the first thing is you've got the people at Olama that have really taken the time to just take care of all the hard work. So no matter what platform you're running on, what processor, what graphics card, download Olama and you're set. That's kind of the first step. And then the second one is pick your model. And then, of course, the last part is to have fun. So you go to the Olama site, and I'll walk through this here in a second. We'll not download a model because sometimes it takes a while to download. But you'll go through and you'll take your option. Again, it's available on Mac, Windows, Linux. So whatever your platform is, you've got an option to do it. And the nice thing is they've kind of tailored those models so that way if you pick the right model, it should be able to run on just about any hardware. And if you have a lot of hardware, you can go out and really go to town and run a really large model. So the first step was to install Olama. Second step is to really go out and pick to pick your model. So I picked, in this case, Llama 3. When you get the pop-up, you'll get a couple things to look at, and one is the file size. So if you download a 27 meg model on a 16 meg or 16 gig machine, you're not going to get very far. So this one's 4.7 gig. It's a 8 billion parameter model, and it's quantization's the other thing you want to look at. So just pick a model, take some of the defaults, just make sure it's not a really big number if you got a smaller machine, and you'll be all set. And then the nice thing is you can go explore different models. So when you, after you pick your model, that first page had a little thing down here in the bottom with a copy icon. But basically this one's saying, copy this and put this into your command prompt or in Mac, your terminal prompt. So in this case, this is Olama, run Llama 3.1, and that'll go ahead and take care of the download portion for you. So you just run it, it'll download the chunks and receive to tell you that you're a success. And then you're at this kind of send a message prompt. And at that point, you can type anything that you want to check out. So I typed in, what is CincyAI? And I did it under Llama 3.1, the 8 billion parameter model. And it kind of went through and gave an interesting definition about being a meetup group and figured everything out. So to me, that's kind of amazing that you can have someone like Meta, they go out, they've created a model, they've spent millions of dollars creating that model, and then all of a sudden you can just take that, run it on your machine, run it in a disconnected state, so not plugged into the network, and then you can go do all kinds of other things. Like one thing that you can do is what's that same question like in a different model. So in this case, this is running in the Gemma 2 model, and here's the description for that. And then you can play around with the quantization. So if you've got kind of a quantization number with a really low number, really small model, you'll see your hallucinations, and you'll see mistakes start showing up. Uses the larger models, might take a little bit longer to run, but you'll see better accuracy. So with that, I'll just kind of walk through. I'll show it live here in a second, but just remember, if you don't remember the commands, you can just type in OLLAMA by itself at your command window, and it'll give you all the commands. And then if you want to pull a different model, you can do the OLLAMA pull. It's just doing the download. You can do the OLLAMA list to see the models that you have installed. And so we'll just kind of walk over to that. And so I've got 3 models in this. Oops. Got to make it show up on the screen. Look at that. So I've got 3 models installed there. I did have a 27 gig model, and I felt like it was going to crash my machine, so that was kind of fun. But we'll do llama. See if I can do this without looking at the screen. Run. Whoops. Might need audience participation for typing in the commands, or well, I guess I can just grab this window. A little slide of hand here. Llama run. We'll do llama. Set the mic down. Sorry. 3.1. Run the latest. And so it's running. Put my window back on the screen. Takes a second for it to start up. It's done. Anybody have a question they want to ask? When will we run out of what? And now I'll test my spelling skills. Oh, goodness gracious. Thank you for the extra. Yeah. All right. So it's there. Go back up here. And now I've hit enter. And so the response time is pretty speedy, given that it's running on my Mac. No special graphics card on the Mac. It's got some memory in there, but that's it. And then when you've got your models, the only thing I would also call out is then you can start also doing things like creating your own web app. So if I can get this screen over. So this is just the same thing. So you've got the model running, and you can go do something like take Streamlit, connect over to your model. That model might be running on a different machine, but basically you can go through and kind of patch things together pretty quickly and get some experience. So that's it. I just wanted to kind of share that the world of generative AI has really become to the point where you can do about anything, and you can do it for free, and you can do it on your own machine. And so that's the end. That's the end. That's the end. But it's also the beginning for anything that you want to try.
Katie, come on down. You are next for our demo. I will give her just a second to get set up really quickly. I will do a quick plug for my South by Southwest panel. I will include, oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing, but for those who know South by Southwest, it's a massive conference. It might be the biggest in the country. And to get selected, you have to submit, then it goes to public voting, and then their staff do the final selections. I think last year they got like 4,000 submissions just for AI alone. So I have a panel, or actually it's my first solo presentation that I've submitted, and the public vote really makes a big difference in terms of creating an account really quickly, thumbs up, and leaving a comment like, I'd love to see this at South by Southwest. So I'll include that link in the newsletter, and your vote would mean a lot because we definitely need representation of Cincinnati everywhere, including South by Southwest.
Thanks so much. Hi, everybody. So happy to be back. I'm going to set a timer because 5 minutes goes by really fast. I'm Katie Trout-Taylor, CEO, co-founder of Narratize AI, and we're the trusted AI co-author for Innovative Enterprise. Super grateful and happy to call Cincinnati home. We were founded 3 years ago, but we built in stealth for the first 2 years. And one of the initial inspirations behind Narratize was it's painfully difficult for people in science and tech to tell their stories effectively, to get to the right story, to resonate in their marketplaces, and in the earlier phases of development to actually get buy-in and traction internally from all the various people who need to buy in for something to move from one stage of the product cycle to the next. So Narratize is designed for product innovation, product development, product marketing teams. And excited to share, I guess, just really quick story about our background. And then what I want to do is share the Narratize for teams and individuals that is now live. We just launched it 2 months ago, and it's been a whirlwind. It's been really wonderful. So quick background story, founded 3 years ago, but again, built in stealth for the first 2 years. We were one of the first 7 developer ambassadors into OpenAI. So we were working with the GPT models, which at the time was like just a black box, giant skyscraper in the middle of San Francisco that nobody was allowed to talk about, and everybody was like, what are they doing? And so what that technically meant was we were working with the GPT models when it was like GPT-2, like very early on, and starting to concept Narratize at the time. And so again, building in stealth, we had identified these narrative algorithms, and we had mapped them to different types of product innovation and product development touch points and life cycles. And 2 years ago, this time last year, we came out of stealth after our first proof of concepts with NASA and Boeing. And we continue to scale this year. We are an enterprise-led software company. And so this year, we're starting to grow within Comcast, within Cal, within Under Armour, within some really incredible brands. But in June at CincyAI Week, we revealed Narratize for individuals and teams. And that was because we know innovation happens at all scale and all sizes, not just in the world's most gigantic companies. And so what I want to share today in the 2 minutes I have left after I rambled is you can now in Narratize build decks, fully designed decks. And so this tech stack update's coming later this week. If you want to try it out, we have a free 7-day trial. It's narratize.com/teams. And yeah, here's what it looks like. You can kind of get a hint, by the way, in the background as to all the other workflows in Narratize, but it's designed as a prompt-free user experience. And so the AI actually prompts you. And we have a lot of reasoning behind that. But the main one is we don't think that it's typical for people who have superpowers superpowers in science or technology to also have to stop everything that they're already a superhuman in and go learn prompt engineering. So that's one reason. The other reason is because our hypothesis is if you're prompting the person, they're sharing their best ideas, their best insights, and the AI can learn and grow from that over time. And the enterprise can grow upon tacit knowledge and build your AI brain that remains there no matter who retires or who comes into the organization. So anyhow, these are some of the workflows you can create. You can do things like pitch an amazing startup idea. You can do things like craft a proposal for a customer. You can create really technical documents like product requirements guides, product requirements docs, and now you can build fully designed decks. We have a bunch of different workflows for decks. This actually is just half of them in this demo, but you can build technical demos, technical demonstrations, research and development presentations, business strategy presentations, and then this one's really popular for founders, which is pitch decks. And it looks and feels something like this. Everything in Narratize is based on an AI that prompts you. And so you kind of spend time strategically thinking about your work in the experience. So you can either go through these questions and answer them on your own, or this is a brand new feature that we're so excited about. You can upload existing content and boom, it just answered all of the prompts for you. So that's also new to Narratize. And we're working to get that into every workflow in the month of August. So the next step here, you can see you've got the right messaging for every slide in your deck. From there, you can regenerate that, edit that. You can add additional slides here. And then you can get into the slide content. So the AI starts to generate the actual top messaging that should go on every single slide, the data points there. Later this year, data visualization, like, oh no. I'm usually so short. I'm usually like early. I'm sorry. We're almost done. We're almost there. Then you can choose from design templates, and here you go. Pretty soon, before you know it, in a series of me pushing buttons, you have a fully designed deck with the right messaging on the slides. The technical narrative is accurate, clear, compelling, and more. So super excited to hear how you like it, how you're experiencing it. Happy to share more about enterprise adoption of AI, what we're learning in the marketplace. Yes.
Can I create content for classes, preparing lectures?
Yeah, actually, you can create you can create decks that are educational in format. Absolutely. Yeah. You can create technical insights decks. You can create thought leadership. So one of the top use cases among like university faculty is trying to get thought leadership and public intellectualism out there for their amazing work, or to build pitches and presentations for potential commercialization of their patents or their research findings. Thank you, guys. Sorry, actually, that is one important piece. I'm so sorry for everybody in the room. Yes, we have a coupon code that gives you 50% off of individual and team licensing. And it's just, the coupon is AI for good. Not the number 4, but FOR. AI for good. No, just type in all caps, AI for good, and you get 50% off. You can add users to your organization. It's your unique instance of Narratize, so it's designed to be secure and private for you to be able to share your research findings and things like that. Oh, and I didn't get to share the Research Hub, but the Research Hub is also fully live by the end of this week. In Narratize, you can ask the AI any research question, and you can upload preliminary findings or peer-reviewed studies, and you can pull out within seconds. You get like everything from quotable quotes to the context and the domain conversation going on in that field, as well as gaps and opportunities in that marketplace. So super excited for how that's going to help drive innovation and bold ideas that everyone here is cooking up so fantastically. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. We're very proud. I don't know if Katie, well, let me call Michael Beck up. So while there he is. Her co-founders, I don't know if she mentioned this, is all female-led AI founders. So we're very proud to have Narratize in Cincinnati. Okay, so let me re-hook up my computer. And then Michael, I'll go ahead and hand over the mic so you can introduce yourself while I'm doing this.
I'm Michael Beck. I'm from the Cincinnati AI Catalyst. And hopefully you remember what Helen and Kendra was saying before. By the way, give them a hand for Helen and Kendra for organizing that. So we are very, very lucky to collaborate with them very, very closely. That's what really creates the community. As we say in education, you need to create a village to raise the children, and that's exactly what we're doing here in the AI space. So we're always very happy and excited to be here. And today is August 6th, so for those people who are very, very busy, reminder, back to school. Okay, so you should be thinking about education if you have kids, nephews, whoever, to buy the supplies. And I thought there was going to be a great opportunity to actually update you what are we doing in AI education space at the Cincinnati AI Catalyst. Next slide, please. Okay, so just as a reminder, this is our mission. So in 2 words, a responsible AI. And making sure that nobody's left behind in our region, making sure that we use AI to really elevate people, help people to get to the level where they can really grow and be successful. Next slide, please. And this is our AI education team. Again, I'm not going to be reading this for you. You are a much faster reader than I can read aloud here. But the main point for us is we are very much aware that it's not only the ecosystem and the companies over here, but we really have to think long-term strategically how to engage our youth in the AI for two reasons. One is that they can get jobs, which will be high-paying jobs. Number two, that we really have to help our companies, local companies here, to have a highly qualified people, so we don't have to go outside and pay double price to hire somebody from outside. And then when they come here and get better offer, they're gonna leave very quickly because they have no roots here. So it's smart move for us to really educate our youth who live here, who have the roots, who have the families, because then they want to stay with us and then help us to build the whole ecosystem to the next level. Okay, and we have some of our team members here. So those of you who are part of AI education team, please raise your hand. So they will be happy to answer any questions afterwards. Greg and Laura here. And we are, of course, always looking for more volunteers. People want to get engaged, and we'll be talking about this in a second. Next one, please. So there's an example of AI in education. Again, I'm not going to read it for you, but a lot of you can imagine what is doable, what's possible, and we definitely want to make sure the most important thing is not to have our kids using AI, but really create AI. We want them to be the creators. Otherwise, they're not going to be really part of that. And we see with all the smartphones, they're very quick using that, but there is no problem solving in it, right? So that's kind of what we really want to make sure, that we have this kind of 24/7 tutor available to them, very patient tutor, so they can ask all the questions, but not really give them the answer, but prod them for thinking how they're going to solve it, how they're going to answer them themselves, and using this as a learning experience. Next slide, please. So just to let you know where we are, so we are collaborating, as I've mentioned before. Our kind of a stretch goal is to have an AI club in every high school and every elementary school in our region. We're starting with Hamilton County. So we already initiate contacts with those schools over here, and we will create pilots with them. So now the big question to all of you: if you are a parent of a child in a local school, not necessarily this one, if you're a teacher, if you know teachers, if you're a company that's really dedicated to growing our ecosystem here in Cincinnati, and you think that you have volunteers who work, or employees who work for you, but who would love to volunteer and help us out, then please contact any of us from the AI education team, because we have to create really the village, and everybody have to be really contributing to that. The few of us who are on the team not going to make it, but if we work together, collaborate together, then I think that we have great opportunity to really set apart our region as one of the most progressive, most dedicated, most advanced in AI, specifically building the pipeline from elementary school, high school, university level to everybody being really part of that ecosystem. So with that, thank you very much. Thank you, Kendra and Helen. And again, if you would like to volunteer, if you know somebody who would like to volunteer, if you want to be involved as a parent, teacher, whoever else, please, please, please contact us. Thank you.
Okay, is Rob Richardson here? I don't know if I saw him. Okay, he might not have made it. So Rob heads up Midwest Con. So just a quick plug. They're in the final stretch. It's September 4th, 5th, 6th. I went last year. They really do bring a phenomenal group of speakers together. The categories are creator economy, policy. They're very policy driven, and blockchain and technology as well. So get your ticket. It's a great event to support, and also supporting the local ecosystem, and also just really good content as well. Okay, is Tracy here from the circuit? Come on down, Tracy. And also, CincyAI gets you a discount for Midwest Con too. Okay, there you go.
Hi, thanks. I am happy to report we had 22 submissions for our proving ground where ideas meet reality. The committee is coming together to evaluate those in the next week or so, and we anticipate, assuming we can cover all the legal hurdles, announcing our finalists September 12th. So you'll want to be at the Best of Tech Awards so you can hear who those winners are, as well as our keynote, Dave Lapham, who should be pretty fun. Hopefully the Bengals are killing it by then. In addition, you saw up here, we've got the Momentum Developers Conference coming up and a number of other great events. So we're happy to continue to support this IT community in all areas and facets that it takes to bring it together. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tracy. And John's right behind me, so I will just hand over the mic.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to make an announcement. I run a nonprofit. It's called the Plunk Foundation. We work on privacy, and right now we are enrolling various nonprofits that are associated with the Lunar Center of Hope and Children's Hospital that deal with medical data, and we are helping the nonprofits understand the seriousness of the data they hold and the people they take care of. That being said, we have space because I got an awesome team of volunteer lawyers across the country. We have space for 5 other nonprofits that would like for a privacy program assessment with us. We look through your nonprofit, identify the data that you're sharing, who you're sharing it with, and how to make sure that it's protected even better. Now, we're doing this absolutely for free for nonprofits. We do this pro bono, and we're a volunteer organization. So please contact me if that's something you'd like to do. Secondly, just things in the news. There's been some interesting AI stories in the news. One is related to Google and the antitrust law that's been going on. So that's been interesting to read. The specifics, too long didn't read, is that the government has found that Google is a monopoly when it comes to their search engines. And in privacy, it's a big thing because the Mozilla Foundation was paid $500 million by Google to make Google their default, and Mozilla touts privacy. So when we look at privacy, there are very interesting, insidious things going on, and that's why we built this nonprofit to counteract that. The second thing is we found NVIDIA has documents that they were showing that they were actually scraping YouTube illegally. So that's going to be pretty interesting. We're going to see how that goes down. So yeah, always be reading. It's quite interesting. Never boring. Thanks.
Thank you, John. He's also talking privacy for our local government officials, which is also super important. Okay, Jeff Cook. Is Jeff here? Okay, so come on down, Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff Cook. I'm with Pinnacle Solutions Group. And I just want to take a minute to talk about Databricks Assistant, which is an AI tool that I use every day in the Databricks environment. If you're not familiar, Databricks is a cloud-based analytic machine learning environment. Doesn't handle storage, but sits over most of the major, or all the major cloud vendors I'm aware of. And what it has is when you're using it and you're using a notebook environment, it has like a panel on the side. It can give you, just like GitHub Copilot or something like that, it can give you recommendations if you make coding errors, et cetera. And that's the simple thing with it. And that works pretty good. The next thing beyond that is, hey, you can say in commands and stuff, please document this function for me. And okay, it'll give you documentation and you can accept it. What it starts to do beyond that that's really interesting is Databricks has a thing called Unity Catalog that sits over your lakehouse. And with Unity Catalog, it gives you a database schema table-like structure that makes it look like a database over whatever your files are in your data lake. And if you use that properly and you document your fields and everything set up in there, it will use that to have context to answer your questions. So you can go in and use natural language questions and say, build me a dashboard about sales for the first quarter of 2024 against last year, or something like that. And what it'll do is in the assistant panel, it'll give you all the code to build it. Here's where the data is that it believes, and some description of that. And then next, here's how to aggregate that data, and then here's how to present it. So it's really cool how it does that. One of the things it's doing there quite differently than most other tools I've used, it has the awareness of your data. And that is really big to help people work with tools like that. And then the final thing I wanted to say is I went to the conference in San Francisco, the Databricks conference in June, and they did a demonstration I thought was really interesting. They've got a new thing coming out in called AI BI Genie, and it's a no-code interface to your data. So this is really not for probably the technical people and probably most of the people in the room, but for someone that wants to ask questions of their data. If you have created Unity Catalog and if you've populated it properly and you put all your data lake information in there, you can start asking questions like that. Give me the sales for this year or whatever, and it's not going to give you the code; it's going to give you the data. So all of a sudden, you're going to see a table appear with here's all my data, and then you can say, hey, I'd really like to see that in a line chart, or I'd like to see that in a scatter plot or something. There it is. So obviously, that depends a lot on the quality of the information you've set up, but it's really interesting. That's in public preview now, and I thought it was interesting and something this group might care about. So that's it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Okay, so I'm going to go through the slides, and then we'll go to Q&A, and then we'll do the photo. I feel like sometimes I miss some of the slides. So our next meeting is Tuesday, September 17th. You can go ahead and sign up, and then we'll probably release the October link in our newsletter this weekend. I know these sell out fast. September is a little bit later in the month than normal just because of MACON and a bunch of other activities happening. So, of course, sign up. We have our LinkedIn group. We also have a LinkedIn page now, mostly so we can just tag it on LinkedIn, where most of the information will still be shared in the group. And Deba, who's here, has been sharing fantastic PR opportunities for people with different AI expertise. So do share that or look at our LinkedIn group for that. And we love all the LinkedIn love that we get. So please continue. People do find us and see us on LinkedIn as well. Okay, so let's look up our questions. And of course, you can raise your hand too. And these aren't just for me. It could be for anyone in the room or any of our speakers as well. Okay, if you're interested in giving a quick review about this amazing meetup event, please see Greg after the meeting. Okay, so Greg, raise your hand. So Greg is one of our volunteers. He did the training last month and is helping us put together testimonials that we'll then share on social media as well too. So definitely hit up Greg. Okay, any questions? Okay, great. I had a question for Herb. I assume that all the open source ones that you showed don't train the models because they're local, but do any of them actually train the models? All right, cool. Thank you. Okay, well, that was the question that I just asked. Great minds think alike. Any other questions for our speakers? I think, should we take a bet if what's gonna happen to OpenAI with the news this morning that what is it? Greg Brockman, one of the co-founders, is taking an extended leave of absence. They've lost another leader to Anthropic, which that whole team split from OpenAI, and I forget the third leader, but maybe that's something that we could do side pool. No questions. Okay.
Have you ever heard of Verve AI? Verve, like V-U-R, like survey, but with a V?
No, I've not used it. I think I heard about it, yeah.
Okay, I used to contract for them. It's a local company that has clients like Adidas and Google, and they take surveying data like yours in a video format and consolidate it for clients. So I was just curious about some of your data sources and maybe, the turnaround. Yeah,
I'll check it out. We also do focus groups and videos, so you can upload your videos and kind of get a qualitative analysis done from videos, including some emotions and stuff. So it's still like working with some clients on that, but I'll check out Verbe. Yeah, thank you for that.
Okay. Any other questions? Hands raised? You guys are being quiet today, even on the online. Okay, I'll give you guys another second. Is Katie still here? Favorite narratized use case? Perfect. Do you want to come back down?
Like my personal favorite. Well, so
Here.
article analyzer.
Let me get this so we can hear you.
So we launched the article analyzer a couple of weeks ago to hyperspeed research workflows and then allow you to like grab snippets and put them into reports or a thought leadership that you're crafting in the platform. And so I uploaded my dissertation and it immediately pulled out like key takeaways, the context, the background, the conversation of the field that I was entering and like how my research fit within it. It was awesome. And I thought, damn, when I was a grad student, I so wish I had that.
Yeah, I think you do like 3 years now, right?
Cool. Any other questions? I'll share one interesting use case that I could see baked into Narratize. And I forget the tool. It was the guy who made my clone. You know the panel where she was showing you input your data and then the slides are built and if you kind of picture that as like the back end of a WordPress where you have like what module do you want to add here, an image, a video, use AI to create text. You know, you do that, you create the text. Maybe it's like, how do I use Narratize? And it pumps out the text really quick with a ChatGPT backend type thing. And then you copy all of the text and you're like, what's the next little module? You select a clone, whether it's a stock clone or a custom made one, and then you add it. And in seconds or minutes, you turn your deck into a course with clones teaching it as well. So like the clones are going to start coming in workflows like this really soon too. And when I saw that, because I've always like, I should make a course, but they're so daunting because there's so much work to do. But using AI to help create the text and then having clones teach the text, I was really blown away. So I'm hoping to get my hands on that and test that. But are there any other really cool things that anyone has seen with AI like that? Ooh, okay, this is a good question. But go ahead, yell out. Nice. That's Reloom. You can build sites very easily with AI. Okay, so many tools to play with. Okay, how do you align AI with business objectives? This is a great question. There's so many people in here who could answer. Oh, and there's more people typing. We're going to do questions until 4:20, do the photo if we have enough, and then we'll do the networking. Okay, so who wants to, I feel like, Sabrina, do you want to answer how to align AI with business objectives?
Yeah, this is a great question. So I think aligning AI with business objectives, kind of like how I talked about in the beginning, it starts with identifying what your strengths as a company are. It's like, okay, what do you want to, or as a government, organization, whatever, and say, okay, what are the things that we do really well, we want to duplicate that and scale it. That's kind of the first step. And then it's also, what are the things that we are kind of keeping us from being able to focus on those things we do really well, those repetitive tasks or really data kind of, clerical tasks. How do you automate those so you can spend more time focusing on what you do well? So I think once you kind of answer that question, that kind of helps frame, do you focus on just general productivity for each person? Do you kind of align it to your strategy, your offerings, your products? That's kind of where to start. And then from there, figure out, how much is it worth? How much time is it going to save? How much value is it going to add to customers? How many dollars is it going to create? So you kind of have an idea of ROI that makes it worth it. So you know how much to actually spend on some kind of AI implementation. So a little quick summary, understand what your strengths are, understand what keeps you from doing those strengths, figure out what it's worth, and then do that ROI calculation, then come up with an AI implementation plan. So how to help with that.
Thank you. And one thing that Kendra always says too is it's just as much about not even the technology, it's just as much about change management and making sure that you're communicating, you're reasoning, and it's top down from leadership and bringing everyone along. So that's one thing that I know I got from Kendra. Okay, so there was another question for you, Praj. Where'd it go? How do you qualify respondents to participate in your survey?
Yeah, so thank you for the question. So the short answer is right now we don't, right? So our clients are bringing their own participants at this point. We do have integrations where you can, there are like various vendors, so we can bring in the participants from there, depending on the study. So it's a bit of a manual touch point right now. So it's a client by client basis. I know there's like many other tools that help you do this. So we just integrate with the best one according to your needs. Yeah, thank you.
Great. And then is anyone going to AI4 in Las Vegas next week? Raise of hands. The person who submitted the question. Okay, cool. Well, an invitation, we've done this for a few events, is after a conference, we'll do a recap of learnings. So you're welcome, after the conference to do a recap of top takeaways next time. So that's always an open invitation for our quick bites. Okay, I'm looking stepping on things. I'm looking for AI financial management tools and potential trainers for small business in Start Here mode. Please see Don after the meeting. Raise your hands, Don. And I know you're sitting by a tax person, AI tax person really close by too, that I met earlier. Okay, any advice for pricing our AI tools as there are so many free options available? This is a great question on the freemium model, pricing. Katie, do you want to weigh in how you guys have thought about this, or any of our other builders and tools out there? What? Oh, well, I think this is, I interpreted this as the builder trying to figure out how to price their own tool versus sourcing a tool. Did I interpret that right? Okay. Do you want to speak to this? No?
Yeah, I think it's, when I was listening to the response to like, how do I align AI with business objectives? AI should naturally flow into a business objective, into an existing workflow and make it better or create a new opportunity. So it's either a productivity gain or it's a revenue gain. And you need to be able to calculate that at the point of concepting what you're going to do with AI. So I think making sure that you have that clarity and that line of sight to the outcome that your market can achieve with the technology is critical, and having some strong ROI calculations to drive that is important. It's interesting. I think it really depends on your market and how do you navigate this free option, right? When we first launched Narratize, there was no ChatGPT, imagine. And so it threw every AI software company for a huge loop when it came out free. And I think you have to be really clear about what you're solving that is different from every free option. And that is a moving target this year more than ever. What I've heard, again, thinking through the lens of my role, which is enterprise sales, there's been a lot of, at the start of 2024, most enterprises were still trying to build their centers of excellence, build their AI governance policies, have a plan in place for whether they were going to build, buy, partner, or only choose one. And so that there was a lot of like chaos and just trying to get that organized. Then it was Microsoft Copilot all day, every day. That's all everybody talked about because they made it very easy and they went very horizontal very quickly. And I think what we hear now coming into like late Q2, Q3, those pilots for Copilot are wrapping and the results aren't that exciting. So if you're not solving clear vertical use cases that are meaningful to business units or functional units, are you really going to be able to withstand beating the free stuff? So that's what I hear from the market, and it's not easy. Make sure you're solving a problem and it has ROI. Typical business advice.
Yeah. Okay. And Nate. And then after this, well, okay, we'll do fast for the wrap up.
Can I yes and on Katie there? Hi, Katie. So what Katie's talking about is jobs to be done, right? If you're not innately familiar with jobs to be done methodology, it's the idea that, so I'll take it to banking. It's like the job doesn't change over time, but how you help your customer accomplish it should, and that's innovation. And jobs should be emotional. If it's not emotional, then you're a commodity, and commodities end up being free, right? So in banking, for instance, banks help customers do three things. They help you get paid, pay others, and manage their money, right? Now we have like sub jobs. So a sub job could be that is incorrect. Like an incorrect job would be, I want to help our customers budget. I don't actually want a budget as a consumer, because what happens on day 2 after you create a budget? Anybody? Like you blow a tire on your car and now you never want to look at your budget again. It becomes painful to open up your app. What I want to do is not run out of money. And a budget is a tool, but now budgets are free, which is why apps want to collect all of your information and then drip campaign you, right? So like the best thing that they can help you do is teach you over time financial education to help you not run out of money over time, right? So like there's a bunch of tools that I can help you do to not run out of money. So it's like when you think about your AI tools, if you're just creating a commodity, then it's going to end up being free and it's not going to be used over time. So what is the emotional job that you're helping your customer do? Like what is the emotion? Tie it back to emotion and you can charge for it.
Fantastic. We have so much wealth of knowledge in this room. And on the flip side, I am going to let Kendra speak to the business leaders who are trying to choose what tools to use, because there's all types of pricing. And then just know as a consumer, if it's free, you are training the machines with your data. So always, always be aware of that. Okay, that's all Kendra was going to say. Okay. Okay, and then John, what are your thoughts concerning the monetization of health data?
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. I think the question is, it depends how specific it is. If you're anonymizing the data, that's really nice. We're getting into the age of like precision medication, which is going to require extremely detailed genomes about you. And a lot of that's facilitated by like 23andMe and companies like that are literally selling data. And it's I'm very against that, because like if your brother takes it or if somebody in your family takes it, then your data is there. And it's a big problem with privacy when we talk about like a consumer, because that person didn't consume anything and still can be the victim of a privacy harm. A lot of this can be related to like trafficking and harassing and stalking. So, and the other thing is that HIPAA, which is the Health Online Portability Act, it's not very secure. So like once you reach this certain level on the HIPAA where you're storing data appropriately according to them, you're allowed to trade and sell that data, which not many people have. So there are these things called deceptive patterns that will happen. They could be in person, they could be online, but like when you go to your doctor, as an example, and they ask for your ID, they don't have, legally, they don't need to scan it, but they do scan it and they take more data than they need. So this happens to a lot of hospitals, and I think people need to be aware of this and have some pressure going forward about what data is taken and when, and as long as you keep that person in the loop and educated in a way where they're actually consenting instead of throwing a legal book at them that lawyers don't even understand, because I know HIPAA lawyers and they don't understand a lot of it, then we're not really giving people a choice of consent, are we? So it's a complicated answer, but happy to talk to you afterwards.
Thank you, John. Okay, so that wraps up our Q&A portion. Thank you again to our sponsors, the University of Cincinnati, Dr. Kelly Cohen as our organizing partner, Seven Hills Technology, and Big Kitty Labs. Hope to see you at our next meetup. I know time is our most precious resource, so thank you for spending some time with us today. And don't be a cat, go to the wall for a group photo.